Hello and welcome. I'm so glad that you are here. I'm so excited for this. This is the first video in a series of tutorial type of videos all about embodying our sacred feminine. So it's literally using body movements to embody your feminine essence. This first video is going to be the hip sway or hip swing, hip roll, and variations of it. These body movements have been the most effective way for me to get into that state of being, or just even to shift me just ever so slightly into more of my feminine. So that's where I'm coming from with this, just sharing my own story in hopes that it may resonate with you somehow, some way, shape, or form. So take what works, leave what doesn't. But let's go right into it. Just standing. And so like I said, I want this to be like an going inward experience, an inner experience. So I know, like I said, that this is a video and you're probably watching this, but when you take this into your own personal practice, I really want you to start closing your eyes. And if you feel comfortable now, closing your eyes just allows us to feel into our bodies a little bit more effectively. So I'm going to be using a visualization, words to help you access that energy within you, that feminine essence, that life force essence. So just starting with your hips, with your feet about hip width distance apart. And just, settle into your body, bend your knees, just kind of get relaxed into it, find your breath. I'm going to talk about, maybe you hear talk about your pelvic bowl. So your hips and pelvis actually physically form a bowl shape. But I'd like you to close your eyes and actually visualize with your mind's eye an actual bowl sitting right here. And you can use your hands in this shape, just kind of like you're holding that bowl, or you can use your hands on the tops of your hips, kind of like you're holding a bowl here. And so as you close your eyes and place your hands and feel your breath, just taking a couple breaths down deep into this space. So breathing deep down into your womb space, your sacral chakra area, the seed of intuition and inspiration. Feeling your hands move, if you have your hands in this space. Good, and now visualizing that bowl, and I'd like you to visualize that the bowl is filled with water, or however you want to visualize that life force energy, that feminine energy, as being fluid, liquid, whatever color. And right now the water is still, as we're standing fairly still, and it's just calm water. I'd like you to begin to just shift your weight from one foot to the other foot and shifting from side to side. You can visualize and see that water beginning to sort of wave from side to side. Just gentle waves. You can see a slight bend in the hips and feel that stretch on the outer hip. I'd like you to begin to just bend deeper into the knee that you're shifting your weight. So as you shift your weight to the side, you bend deeper into that knee. And notice how when you bend that knee, that hip just naturally drops. And as you straighten it, the hip lifts. So there's kind of this hip dip that's happening. Here, I'm gonna, okay, just to show that it's not about looks here, is I have this lovely hernia that I'm gonna show off now, but I really want you to see my hips here when we're doing this. So as we just shift from side to side, see how those hips are level to the ground, those hip points. And as we bend into this knee, as we shift, this hip drops. And as we straighten, the hip lifts. So you shift your weight and bend the knee. Yeah. As we're still visualizing that vibrant life force, it begins to really slosh up the sides of the bowl. We're really awakening and activating this life force energy that lives right here. You can keep and really like get that water, that life force really awake. So this is just your basic hip sway. And just play with that. Play with that. If you want to play into the figure 8. So still imagining that you have the bowl. I'll use this bowl for a. So here's your pelvic bowl. And here's your hip points. Kind of, if you can stick with me. So as you bring one hip forward, the other one just naturally goes back. And then the same thing, you bring that hip back, the other one goes forward. And so it creates that figure 8 pattern. So you can play with the figure 8. Same thing, soft bend in those knees, feel into your body. Feel this energy that's maybe lying dormant, that's stagnant, and we're gonna wake it up. We're gonna bring life into this seat of energy right here, our feminine energy space, our womb space. And so bending the knees, you can bring one hip to one corner, over and back. Then the other hip just automatically goes back. When you bring one hip forward, the other hip goes back. And you can begin, just play with it. Just put some music on and close your eyes. And like I said, first feel. So closing down your eyes, no mirrors. You're not looking at, this is not about how it looks. This is not at all about how it looks. It's about how it feels. And it should feel good. So if it doesn't feel good, please don't do it. Please don't do it. As far as physically feel good. So in the sense that you may have uncomfortable emotions surfacing, like I talked about before, you might be feeling that resistance or that shame or that uncomfortableness or awkwardness sort of emotion, but I'm talking about physically. If it doesn't physically feel good, please don't do it. If it emotionally doesn't feel good, use that as your spiritual practice. Use that as a prompt to dig into why, what are we uncovering here? Why is there resistance to this? Okay, so awesome. That was the hip sway. So play with your feet placement, try with your feet hip width apart and sway those hips. Put some music on, close your eyes, put your hands right here and just visualize stirring up this energy and just waking it up, activating, unlocking, igniting, cultivating. Play with the movements. Try your feet a little bit wider, bend deeper into the knees. Go slower. go faster, do some figure eights. You know, the next video I will be breaking down the hip circle, which is going to be really fun. Yeah, so I just invited you to play, have fun with it. This is intended to be fun. It's intended to feel good, juicy, liberating, delicious, yummy, flow. Thank you so much for watching.